Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. What do we have today? We have a Mazda CX-5, which the only reason I'm recording this is, as I sometimes say, is if I hit something that's a little bit topsy-turvy. Now, I have done an intake manifold decarb on this thing, and after doing an intake manifold decarb, I had my EGR pipe going into the intake manifold was blocked solid. I actually done a little fast TikTok video on how I'd be checking for flow, etc. on these things. Found it blocked anyway, solid, and then I done an intake manifold, walnut blasting, etc. and put the car together, sent it on its way. The normal generic thing is it would be fixed once I found the problem, fixed the problem, and off I go, we're done. But here we are 2 days or 3 days later, where the car has come back to me with a P0401, which is an EGR, insufficient flow detected. And right now, what I'm doing is wondering what the heck has or is causing this. Now, I don't have a fault code to show you because I just went in there and I just pressed delete. Why did I do that? I want everything working because I'm going to do active tests or live tests. i.e. I'm going to open my EGR valves, look at my airflow numbers and watch them drop, or at least that's what I'm going to try and do, and see has someone, has been ongoing before me for a period of time, has someone put in a blanking plate, is there an EGR valve or a cooler bypass that's failing on it or something. So the next port of call, I see my sister's looking to talk to me over there about some other car probably, so I'm going to stop and I'll show you where I go in a second from this screen. Okay guys, sorry, back in the car, apologies for that. So here we are, we're going to enter into that engine control module. We're going to go into active tests. I'm going to search for EGR cooler bypass, or there's my exhaust gas recirculation cooler bypass. We'll hit that one first, okay? It is probably, I'm going to say here then, press the cancel button if monitor live data is not needed. So I do want live data, so I'm going to say okay. And what do I want? I want airflow. So I want to see, I could look at EGR positioning, but I'm going to search here air, just AIR, air mass flow. Did I get that? Will I look at, I was going to say, will I look at position? We'll just say cooler and just see. EGR cooler bypass valve position measured. So I don't know what those yokes are, but that's what I want in my measured. Okay, I don't really care about that. I care about that airflow one. Okay, so now what we should have is we're going into active tests. Okay, I'm going to start this car. When I'm starting the car and the car is now running, I have airflow numbers on these things can be quite crackers, but my EGR cooler bypass, so here EGR cooler bypass valve is at 0%, and where to see my airflow, this is measured percentage, and this is my airflow. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to increase. So by opening my EGR cooler bypass 20%, my airflow numbers have just dropped to 3 grams of air per second. So going back to decrease, you'll go back to 12. Okay, we're going back to 0, we're back up to 12. We'll do it once more. Increase. So my airflow numbers have dropped. I'm going to decrease and escape. Okay, I know that we have flow through that. Okay, that makes sense. Now I'm going to go back to maybe this one. So we have exhaust gas recirculation valve position, active test. Yeah. Sorry, I just have to come back sometimes and look at it myself from my perspective rather than from the camera perspective. Okay, because we need live data here. Probably going to go for the same thing, will I? What I really want is airflow. So we're going to do the same again. AIR, mass airflow, and might search EGR again. So we're going to go EGR. No, okay. So EGR is not a good search for me. I think it's called exhaust gas recirculation valve. Let's see, can I see exhaust gas recirculation valve position there, number 2. Happy enough with that. We're going to say okay. Okay, so we have, again, the same as the other thing, 12 to 14 grams of air. EGR, exhaust gas recirculation valve, EGR valve, at this point in time is at 0. I'm going to increase. So we have a drop there, but it didn't drop a huge amount so far. Is it dropping in increments? We're 70% open now. %, is that as far as we can go? It is. 80%. We're down to 6 grams of air per second. There could be a restriction or a flow in here now somewhere. A flow restriction, sorry, in here somewhere. So we're going to go back to it did drop, absolutely. But is it dropping enough? Do I need to do the same test on another vehicle? So we're just going to reiterate from my own self. At 80%, we have between 5 and 6 grams of air open. If I decrease, no change, decrease, no change, decrease, no change, decrease, no real change even here at 40%. Decrease, no change, decrease, and decrease. Okay, what am I seeing here? There's a very, very small, I'd absolutely even say there's no flow restriction here. So for us right now, so no flow in here at all. So there is interior restriction. So I'm going to go again. I'm going to zoom in into things. 10% didn't change. Didn't change. I'm thinking that we're... Now I do know that I did have a cooler off of this. So I had the cooler off in hand. Is the valve either not opening or what the heck is going on? Time to get out, have a little look out here. Go down again, 3 to 5. Decrease, 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 decrease. Not much of a change there, 4. Okay, it's that system we're going looking at. Bottom at, guys, I suppose I should have shown that little hockey stick here. That's the EGR cooler bypass. So it's an EGR valve that's basically bringing exhaust gas from the cylinder head out through, back in through that intake manifold, which I know is clean because I was on it. So the EGR cooler is coming through that up to this thing, which is the EGR valve. So 2 tests I'm going to do here by removing that hockey stick. Have I got flow out here? And can I open that thing when I do my live test inside, which is can't do the thing still hanging on the steering wheel, but at least it'll give me 2, avenues for checking. Okay guys, hockey stick off. I know where I'm going right now and I don't know the reason or the cause of it, but this is what we're going, where in my head I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So the 2 tests, that as I said there is our EGR valve. So I'm going to, trying to keep you all maybe in the one shot, I'm going to increase the opening amount. So it's open 20%, 30%. Okay, so you saw that that's working. So because that's working, I'm not condemning that. But what I do have a variable here is I don't have a huge amount. I have flow. I have flow here, but I don't have a huge amount of it. And I do know that I had that off and cleaned it last week. So is there some silt dirt after we had done our repair that's coming up that was in there somewhere getting dislodged and blocking the cooler? Don't know. I suppose this is one of the reasons where guys don't like Mazdas, the cotton things, because they can sometimes, throw stuff at you from different angles. Going to get that cooler changed. I have another one, so I kind of, you always carry them here. I'm going to get in, get that off. Customers down in the cafes all locally, we're going to get a battery airbox out, get in the cooler, off, on the new one, and then voila, we're open. But audibly I can hear that I don't have much out of there from the exhaust system. Couple of items out. Intercooler pipe, I just wedged it up there. There's our cooler. Okay, one or two bits and pieces here. I probably should drain the cooling system, but I'm not. I'm just going to skid a plastic tray underneath, suffer the little bit of loss, and put coolant in it purely for speed, because the customer is standing, as I said, down in the office, or waiting for this thing. Little plate on there, 3 nuts in behind it, water hose here, 1 or 2 little bolts and stuff around there, but again, all relatively easy get at and change. So hopefully this is my fingers crossed. There's always a variable to these things. I think got caught there on this one. I'm just hoping and thinking that we are done and dusted in the next couple of minutes. Cross the finger. Haven't done a whole lot more, just disconnected a few bits and pieces. Have our cooler sitting there, and that's the old cooler in situ. I'm just going to do a fast switcheroo, so I'm nearly not even going to record. There's a bolt, here we go. There's 1 bolt there, 1, 2, 3 there. The cover we've taken off just here. That's it. Then a bolt here and a bolt here, holding vacuum lines that are running across the bottom, but that's all is on it. So just hockey stick, water hose, bolt, nut, cover, and 2 bolts, okay? That's it. Obviously going to come, but I'm going to go. So you're going to see the newer, cleaner interior one sitting in place, okay? And voila, just like that. Bit of coolant around there, but the reason I didn't record it was because I just went basically. So I lost it, went bloop, 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 and bolts were split up again. So I lost very little coolant. Okay, bolts in there, pipes, vacuum hoses on the bottom, and water. What do you call that thing? I don't know what you call it. But basically, anyway, that thing is back in place. Water hose fitted on the front, had a bolt missing out of there, stud, so I have that stud reinstated. And also, I do have that yoke there. I do have flow through it. But I do, as I believe, it's restricted. So when I blow, you know, it's not flowing. I'm getting kind of make pressure, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's the best way I can really show you. So if I just send coolant or something through that, it will flow through it. If I put air through it, it will flow through it. But am I just getting a restriction in there that's not giving me enough comparing to that one, you know, in there? Right, time to put it back together in its entirety. Have a little look and see, can we see a difference on airflow numbers? Well, I started a basic down and dirty test, just bolt it back together. To start the car, run the car, and see, is it noisier down there, or can I feel more pressure? I'm thinking I'm going to do that. Still have a couple of my tools thrown around here. I'm just going to get in, press the button, and see will I note or be able to notice a difference on, you know, just feel. I think I can hear more noise in the immediate. Okay, well, at least I can see smoke. You see that? Yeah, I can see smoke coming. Okay, yeah, I'm so far quite happy. We'll see, can we see a difference in airflow numbers when we're changing it here? We were kind of stuck around 5, didn't turn or move from 5, somewhere between 3 and 5, I believe. So we're going to see what happens at this point once we put on our hockey stick, our expansion jar, and a few bits and pieces back in place. Oh, I'm just at putting in some coolant. I'll top it up again in a second. Back together out there. I'm going to active test again. So maybe I didn't. Did I show you? You kind of know where I want live data. So this thing is escape. So we're into active tests in powertrain control module on the Autel MS909. Exhaust gas recirculation valve position. We need live data. Okay. We need airflow. Oh. AIR. That really all I'm after. I think that's kind of enough for me right now. So we're at 0 now. Our airflow numbers are down. Potentially we have an EGR cooler bypass valve open, because we normally do at idle, but we're going to increase this thing and just see. Okay, our numbers are dropping and the car is starting to okay, I'm happy enough. We're gone down low, decrease. Will I try and start it? So we'll go up there 30, 40, 50. Now it could be closing the EGR cooler bypass, but I can feel it now. She's starting to run like a pig in a bag on me. But we've never seen the elusive 1 and 2 numbers. Decrease, 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 decrease. Okay, we're back to our 5, but our EGR cooler bypass is going to be open about 10% at idle. I'll get out of this and I'll just show you that in live data. Escape, live data. Again, what I'm looking for, EGR will find me, I'm going to go to search. EGR will find me the EGR cooler bypass, but I have to search exhaust gas to get the exhaust gas recirculation position. Sometimes scan tools phrase them in weird ways, but I find sometimes if I go into EX, so there's my cooler bypass valve position. She's open 10%. I'll do that. And I should have exhaust gas recirculation valve position. Okay. I could go there, actual, maybe that would be better. And then show selected. So right now I have exhaust gas recirculation cooler bypass and I have exhaust gas recirculation valve position. Touch the throttle and that'll close. Sometimes when they're cold it doesn't do it. Normally, watch that, because when EGR valves can act kind of tipsy topsy turvy. Again, normally at idle that'll be open 10%. When I touch the throttle, when it's hot, that closes. That opens to 20 or 30%, with that being 0. I brought it out for a drive. You can see the way that opens 30 or 40%, but it didn't close that at this occasion. But just be careful. Sometimes these EGR valves will work, sometimes they won't. The cooler and the cooler bypass and the EGR valve, but depending on engine temperature. Okay. Anyway, at this point in time, I think that's enough for us right now. My airflow numbers are down. My engine is struggling when I open the EGR valve itself, which is coming through the cooler. I'm happy. I'm done. I don't know. I can't explain. What I did explain to a chap there was, if I burst the water mains out in the street and joined it up again, that pipe would be filled with silt and dirt. Behind me I have a water tap on the wall, and if that water tap on the wall doesn't get turned on for 3 weeks, the silt and dirt that's in the system between my tap and where I broke the water mains is still in there until I turn on the tap, and then the dirt that's in the pipe from the breakage gets dissipated or thrown into my gallon. Did I have the same problem here? Did I clean the cooler, clean the intake manifold, but have silt chip dirt inside in the cylinder head or somewhere in around there from it being stagnant and held for a long period of time? And then when the EGR valve started allowing flow because I cleaned the intake manifold, did some kind of silt and dirt come up, block or restrict the cooler? On this one, I don't know. That's my explanation for it anyway. Cooler that's sitting over there, I'm blowing, I have a restriction. On the one I put in now, I don't. EGR cooler, lads. P0401 exhaust gas recirculation valve. Exhaust gas recirculation flow, but I knew in my guts it wasn't intake manifold or something that I was at. It was cooler or valve, basically. Done. Cooler with problem. Hopefully you'll get something from this. Hopefully you like and subscribe. And I'm actually doing that now, which is, you know, all know is Baz Meredith's logo with his spanner in it. Yeah, top guy. Definitely going. Any of my subscribers are definitely going to be subscribed to him if you're not subscribed to Baz. But yeah, lads, I'll talk to you next cartoon. Peter Kennedy signing out, and hopefully you got something from it. See you later, boys.